So happy Friday, everyone. Here, my name is Greg Dixon. I'm here with Betty Withrow and Roy Dickan, and we run as a collaboration of total traffic and conversion, like the T-shirt says. Anyway, and today we're going to talk about video, video everywhere for integrated marketing. And the interesting thing is, I'm in the middle of a video project at the moment. I'm going to be doing a bunch of interviews in this room. I've got a microphone set up, got a camera over there, and the victim will sit in this chair. So,
the victim.
The victim. If we get any people who don't run. So, yeah. So anyway, so one of the things is we use a lot of video. We are using these broadcasts for our own purpose. We stream them out to LinkedIn and YouTube and various places. And we also work with our clients to create video that they can use everywhere for introductions to their courses or the programs where they're selling. And Roy's area is really shorts and using YouTube and mapping in with Google, making Google happy with video. So, Betty, do you want to make a comment about how video, like you and I have a little program to help people with their presentation that results in video. Maybe you can say a little bit about that.
Sure. I'm happy to, Greg. So, the package that Greg and I offers involves going through a whole process to identify your messaging and your presence in such a way that by the time you get in front of the camera, you've got that kind of confidence that everybody would like to have when they're getting ready to go on camera. Yesterday, I was in a business club meeting with some business women, and it turns out that a lot of women who are really, really good at what they do are terrified of being on video. And it doesn't have to be that way. Really, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And once you have the tools in hand to understand exactly what it is that you're presenting and feel like aligned with your message, who is your target market, and how are you going to present yourself and the results you offer in an effective way, you can just go ahead and do it. And so what I do is I work with you. We create scripting, and along with that, you get other tools like a business biography and so on, so that you have a complete package for marketing yourself. And I don't mind telling you that the package that we have on our website, Total Traffic and Conversion, is a ridiculously insane value, and you should really take us up on it. So that's what I have to say about video.
Yeah. And I think the thing about that is many people are self-conscious about video until they get to the point where they realize it's not about them. Right. It's community, whatever they're offering to the people in the audience, if they can communicate that to them. And I always say, pretend you're sitting across the kitchen table telling people what you do. So it doesn't have to be much more complex than that.
No, it really doesn't. And it's like, okay, what if you were talking to your best friend? Okay. What would you say to your best friend about you and about what you do? If they didn't know you. So your theoretical best friend, your next prospect, your next client, how do you want them to understand who you are and what you're going to be able to do to make things work for them? And remember, like you just said, Greg, it's not about you. It's about your audience and what do they need.
Yeah, what do they need? Yeah. So Roy, you do a lot of video, and you've done video for courses and for training, and then you post stuff on YouTube, and then you also have a strategy for niche domination and also for paid advertising sometimes too. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, the first thing that's so important is Google loves video. Now, there's a way to put it on your website and in order to maximize that. And Greg and I are good at that aspect of it. But the point is, if you have video on a web page, that page is going to rank a lot better than if you don't. I mean, it's really just that simple. But besides that, there's so much value for your prospects in seeing a video. For one thing, most people really don't want to buy a product or a service. They want to buy it from somebody that they like and trust. And the best way that they can like and trust you and find out that you are offering a particular product or service is by seeing you talk about it with a video. So there's just so much value from videos. I started doing videos with clients, I don't know, maybe close to 14 years ago. And it makes all the difference as far as a website is concerned or a Google Business Profile is concerned. And most people don't realize that video can be on Google Business Profiles as well. And because most people don't know it, very few people have it there. And so it's really valuable. It makes you stand out from the rest. But probably the biggest thing is really the fact that you rank better for it. So it can put you on page one where you wouldn't get there without it. So it's just so valuable.
Yeah, valuable. And you can also link with various social media platforms like LinkedIn. You can have a little short video attached to your profile. So there's all sorts of tricks that we try to use many of them, but there's new ones every day. But there's there's lots of places you can use that. And even just simply the process of going through and recording video helps clarify your message, right? So because we're working with a client right now, and we did a few videos, and then she looked at it and realized she wasn't really communicating what she wanted to. So it's back to talk to Betty, back to working out the messaging, and the more you do it, the better it gets.
Yeah, and there's another thing about videos that can ease the self-consciousness part and also add value to your audience, which is interviewing people. When you are, you can do a Q&A with someone that you already know, who already is familiar with you, and that gives a back and forth that can ease the flow of information and help you get your feet wet with having a video presence. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was, stuck in my room like everybody else. And I started doing what I was calling Betty's Little Bites, which were 4-minute interviews with 3 questions. So people didn't have time to get nervous. And it was wonderful because I was able to spotlight other people that I know and value and get into their backyard by tagging them on Facebook. And it just gave everybody, send them the recording. They can use it in their marketing. And it's a nice thing to do. And it can help you with understanding how to present yourself in the best way with some friends and allies.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like the interview format's pretty good, because then you just have a conversation, which is what we're doing right now, right?
Right.
we didn't stay up all night scripting everything we wanted to say. We had a topic, we've got some ideas, we'll change those ideas, and then we have guests pop in from time to time, and sometimes they don't know they're going to be a guest until the last possible minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can be very good. The other thing I wanted to mention is video can be used for a lot of things, because we like to create once and repurpose in a number of places. So chances are, if you've ever done video interviews or anything in the past, you probably already have a small pile of gold in that. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing, I don't know how many, I should go count. We've probably done about 30 of these broadcasts. And once in a while, we say something brilliant. So we've been going through a process of transcribing all of our broadcasts and sort of organizing it for the purpose of creating one or more books. So what they were going to call the Total Traffic and Conversion Way. So it's very handy. So even if some people like speaking into a microphone, some people like being on camera rather than writing. So it's an alternative to writing. There are really good services for transcribing. And then once you have the transcription, you can edit it yourself or hand it off to somebody to edit and then reuse it in various places.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because in a situation like this, we'll say something different than if we're planning on writing it down or typing it out or whatever we would do. Often speaking really is a better way to communicate. And then when you see the transcription, you see what you're saying. And if you're talking to somebody, like if you're talking to a prospect and you record it, you may find out that you're saying things a lot differently and maybe a whole lot better to that prospect than you do when you just normally put out a blog post or something like that. And this is the way people more often like communication these days, in a spoken type format.
Yeah, exactly. Before the pandemic, people spend a lot of time doing, highly scripting and doing, very highly produced videos, but most people value authenticity. So it could be nice and professional, but it doesn't need to be fancy. And in some ways, being too fancy will interfere with your credibility. They want to know that, who they're talking to and as directly as possible.
Yeah, they want your personality to come out.
Yeah. So we also have some of our clients and some people, if they didn't think of it before, we encourage them to also do an online course or a membership, and all that video content could go be part of that. So if they've done a speaking series, a whole series of topics that they've done with live broadcasts, they can collect those and organize it into a really nice course or membership program. So there's a lot of upsides to doing video.
Yeah, there are. And, as you pointed out, Greg, the way that people look at production values is really different. Before the pandemic, there were a lot of very slick, high-level funnels with webinars and, all kinds of bells and whistles and yada, yada, yada. Now, yesterday, I mentioned the club I'm in, the woman was talking about marketing and how it all just feels kind of clunky now. So just get on and say something that has value and hand it out, and with a call to action. And it's just as persuasive and a lot more interesting to just go ahead and do it. And you're saving yourself a ton of aggravation building systems that really people are not that interested in at this point, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. So in some ways it's just, sincerity matters, and
Yes.
and again, the key is, do you have something to offer that somebody could use, right? And then the old thing is, if you do, then it's all your obligation to share it, and video is a really good way of sharing it.
Right.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had an interview with, well, we used to call him a coach, but that's taboo to call anybody a coach anymore. But anyway. He's got some really good services, and he had never really gotten the reaction to trying to sell his services as he got when we just did. It was probably only it was probably a 10-minute video. Shorter is probably even better, but the reaction that he got with a couple of different interview type videos was really better than any other marketing he'd done. People are excited now because he explained it, and we talked about it, and he ended up explaining it with his own personality on what it could do. And it really made a tremendous difference to the interest that was generated.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the whole experience that we all had with communication mediums during the pandemic has changed the entire dynamic of how people are ready to look for information and how they're ready to relate, Roy. So it's like you said, the guy came off like who he really is. And people can tell, you're on video, you're live. There's no faking this. You have to be who you are. And they're ready for that. People want that.
Yeah, the way he spoke, his accent, everything. It came across really well.
Yeah.
All that would have been missed.
True. Yeah.
All that would have been missed. So Betty, you mentioned that little package, that presentation package in video that we do together. And I just posted a link to that out there. And if anybody's interested in making an appointment and talking to us about, you can just connect with any of these social media platforms where you are now, or go visit the site, make an appointment, because it can really, really help. Like if you're a little bit reluctant to get on camera and you don't know what to say, like that's what your process, Betty, is. You help really clarify, where what their core values are and what they want to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah. And along with the video aspect of it, they're also getting a business biography, what I love about my business statement, and bullet points to support their materials on social media. They have a series of templates that they can choose from. I mean, there's a lot of support in here for our clients.
Yeah. Really good deal. So I'm in the middle of this event that I really should be participating in. So maybe we can call it a day, and because I'm expecting at some point here we're going to have people sit in this chair and be interviewed. I'm probably not going to be the interviewer. There's going to be somebody else sitting. There's another chair right here. So, and I'm shooting over the shoulder, right? So.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've often spent being behind the camera just asking questions, right? And I get them to one person. I said, "Well, pretend I'm your best customer or something." So I was Lisa and still am. She'll still send a note. "Hi, Lisa, how you doing?" So it's just imagine that having a conversation. The other thing I say is, "Well, just explain what you do, because I don't, just pretend I don't know anything in it, but you don't even have to pretend, because I don't know anything about you. What you do, just explain it to me." So.
Yeah, it's remarkable how a whole different approach will come out of exactly what that is. It just comes out so naturally and so much better in most cases.
I think sometimes when we think about in marketing and you end up falling into marketing speak and you somehow have to spin it, and it often comes across as being not natural. So the more natural it is, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, happy Friday, everyone. And thanks for jumping on. And we didn't play a little video at the beginning, but we, just to be complete, we should play it on the way out here. If I can find it. Oh, I scrolled way by it. There we go. Okay, here we go. Happy Friday, everyone.